I toyed with whether I should talk about this or not because it's very personal to me, and I figured that I play it safe a lot, and I try not to mix personal with work sometimes, but this is part of our work. And in when Shannon was talking about the priorities, the HHS priorities, and two of them being opioids and mental health, and as many of us know, and particularly our great partners at Health and Wellness, how tied they are together. Some of you know that my family lost my nephew just about a year ago on February 9th, and he was struggling with mental health issues, and he was self-medicating toward the end, and we didn't know. His family suspected toward the end, but they kept it under wraps because they were trying to deal with it. They even took him into a treatment facility, and he was such a charmer that he was able to convince them that he's not that person he saw coming through the door like this, because he's this charming, full of life person. The reason I want to tell you all this is because so often people don't know what to do in these situations. And when I think of all the TA centers we have the Parent Family Community Engagement, Health and Wellness, you know, all of you, but they have done something that I feel, well, they're my family, so I think it's pretty extraordinary. They have found a way to move on with what they call their new normal, with 2 kids instead of 3, and try to advocate and help others. And as my brother said when he was talking on a local Fox affiliate news show, on Sunday morning news show, it's pretty clear from when he was on last, he's going to be their go-to guy on opioids, which is great. That, as my brother said, you know, when I talked to someone, I told her something right away what happened. I told my neighbor, I told my doctor. Everyone has their story, but no one shares them. So they're sharing. And what I wanted to show, I'm not asking any of you to go into this site because I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I just want to let you know, like, what they're doing is they're sharing their story. And if you wouldn't mind putting the site up now, that'd be great. They just launched their own website. It's called the James Warner Legacy Project. And they have my sister-in-law, who I didn't know if she'd be able to round the bend. She's amazing. She's a social worker, and before a year ago at this time, she was working in Montgomery County, Maryland, where they live, and she was working with families who are in transitional living, and she was moving them, homeless families, into transitional living, and she loved that work. My brother worked at HHS for a long time, so a few people had the pleasure of knowing my brother. He's one of a kind. But my sister-in-law wrote a couple blogs on here, and one of them is just so it took my breath away when I read it, because she's trying to help other people in this situation. And what the tipping point for me this morning was when I woke up early, so I thought, well, I'll do what I normally do. I normally don't do it in the morning, though, and I'll go and I'll check out and see what's going on their website. And I knew my nephew, the other son, was going to write something. He was going to write a blog. I didn't know it was going to show up yesterday, and I felt like that was a sign. So I texted my best friend, Maura, from Connecticut, growing up, and I said, what do you think? Should I share this? And she wrote back, and she says, a few years ago, I looked up opioid addiction in a medical sense, most likely because of my work both in a doctor's office and in prescription fraud. In this past year, you can't help but look at it from a social point of view. It's everywhere in the media, and I hope that starts to affect a change. And I hope you all, I know you all are doing that too. And thank you for listening. I wore, just in case, because I do try to keep professional, and I try never to cry in the workplace, and I didn't. I also wore, waterproof mascara, just in case. It doesn't go on as well, so it's, my eyes won't stand out today, but I will not look like a raccoon either. So anyway, thank you for letting me share that, and we all, thank you. And to